Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with a quick story, see if it sounds familiar. Okay, so Lady is one of the first of her friends to get pregnant. Lady's friends are so excited for her. They throw baby showers, they have get-togethers, except Lady's cocktails are switched for mocktails. Everybody's so excited. Lady has the baby. Friends come over. They ooh, they ah. Everybody's so excited. And then Lady starts to settle into motherhood. She's in the fog of it. Those first 3 months, so intense. Lady's friends have get-togethers during this time, and they think about inviting Lady, but they think, she's probably breastfeeding, or she's probably just too busy. We probably just shouldn't invite her. We shouldn't make her feel bad for missing out. So we just won't tell her. They think about calling Lady, but they're like, oh, maybe the baby's napping, or maybe she's napping, and we'll just let her call us. Lady doesn't really notice this for, those first 3 months. She's boob deep in motherhood. But then the fog starts to lift, and she starts to notice that there's been total radio silence. She hasn't heard from her friends, and she starts to feel disconnected from them. Does any of that sound familiar? That is, for many women, the gist of what I like to call postpartum friendship dissolution. It's when your friendships with the friends that don't have children start to fade away. It's usually completely unintentional on the part of everybody. And so while it's important to understand that the structure of those friendships will almost definitely change, or they will absolutely change when you become a mother, they do not have to end. But it takes some work to make sure that they don't end and that they're still really fulfilling for you. So one of the main things to do is to talk to your friends, at least the ones that you really cherish and you really want to keep in your life. Talk to them one-on-one. If you're still pregnant when you're watching this, you can have these conversations when you're still pregnant to make a plan, to co-create a plan for how the friendship will evolve after you have the baby. And this conversation, it's not to make anybody feel guilty or that they're not a good friend. It is simply an opportunity for you to be vulnerable, for your friend to be vulnerable, for the both of you to, again, co-create a plan for how the relationship will look moving forward. So after you let them know how much you value them and how much you want them in your life, then the two of you can brainstorm really specific ways that you can connect once you have the baby. So for example, maybe your friend loves talking on the phone, and you can make a plan to call her when you go on walks with the baby. Maybe this friend lives nearby and she can go and walk with you. Maybe this is a friend where you typically, you take a dance or yoga class with. While it might be tricky in the beginning to do that every week, maybe you guys can meet up once a month to do that. So again, get real specific about how you'll continue to nurture the relationship once you have the baby. And once you've created this plan, forewarn your friends that you probably will not always be totally reliable. Stuff happens. You get a sick baby, your babysitter doesn't show up, and you need to cancel last minute. So being forthright with this information will hopefully prevent your friends from taking it personally or getting irritated with you. You're letting them know from the beginning, like, I love you, and me canceling has nothing to do with how much I value you. It simply has to do with the unpredictability of motherhood. You can also ask them that if they haven't heard from you in a while, to please reach out. Let them know that with motherhood, sometimes we can't even remember how many days we've been wearing the same pair of pajama pants, much less the last time we checked in with our friends. So ask them to please check in with you if it's been a while. You can also be thoughtful about conversation topics. So while I'm sure your friends will not mind hearing a little bit about motherhood, they just won't be able to relate to it. So you definitely don't want that to be the only thing that you talk about. And so in the beginning, when your brain is again, in that fog of motherhood, you can actually make a little list of conversation starters. You can think about common interests you and your friend have. So for example, if you love to talk about like juicy celebrity gossip, you can write down a few little tidbits to discuss. If you love politics, you can write down some current events that you want their opinion on. Putting in a bit of that forethought, I mean, this could just take like 5 to 10 minutes before you meet with your friend or call them, can really allow that connection to have more substance. And you won't always have to make this list before you see your friends, but in the beginning, it can help you, the two of you, get into a new groove of what your friendship looks like in motherhood. Okay, oh, and if your friend is not childless by choice, it's probably best to completely steer clear of any mothering baby topics unless she's the one that brings it up, because it might be pretty triggering for her. Okay, something else that might happen is you might also need to let go of some of your friends. Not all friends are meant to be in our lives for a lifetime. Sometimes they're just meant to be with us for a certain period of time, and they just come to a natural end when life circumstances change. So if you notice that there's some friends that you don't really miss that much, but you feel guilty, like, well, they were my friend, I should put in that effort, know that it's okay to let some of them go. If it's not a friendship that really fills you up and makes you feel amazing, you have a limited time. You don't have a lot of time to connect with friends. So just let the ones go that are no longer serving you. And remembering it's not personal, you just don't have that much time. I guess it feels a little bit personal, but you don't have to tell them that. And then the next thing is finding new friends. So while again, we want you to keep that like core group of girlfriends that have been with you through a lot, it's also really amazing to connect with new friends that you will more than likely meet in a playgroup or at the library or wherever you go with your baby. And these are probably going to be women that also have babies. And so these are fun friendships because you can connect over shared interests of motherhood and babies. And it's somebody you can go deep with breastfeeding woes, postpartum depression, or blues. These are probably women that get it. So these are really amazing friendships to foster as well, because they're your outlets for discussing mothering topics. But again, it's also important to keep those old friendships. I hope this is helpful. If you have suggestions that worked for you that I didn't mention, please leave them in the comments below. And if you have questions about this, pregnancy, childbirth, motherhood, anything at all, let me know in the comments below.